pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item number 1, individuals, groups of the community at large wishing to address the board. No one. Item number 2, consent agenda, Mr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. Board members, consent agenda items A, B, and C have been presented to you in your board packet. Extracurricular, special, and fundraising and bus requests are pages 3 through 9Q. 9A through 9Q being the new pages since the original packet was sent out. Also in consent agenda item B, pages 10 through 34 are payment of invoices. And then C is P-card statement, pages 35 through 38. So that's a total of pages 3 through 38 for you to consider at this time. And then item D, our next meeting will be next Monday at 10 o'clock here at Central Office. We are happy to answer any questions about consent agenda items A, B, and C, but I do recommend that consent agenda for your consideration.
Just give us a couple minutes to get some new stuff.
I know we were talking before the meeting that we got an influx of people coming in from Mingo Central.
We did, yeah.
Really?
Just a couple folks.
Yeah, no more than a couple, about 4 or 5. Yeah. We have room for all those people, don't we? Oh yeah. Yes, yes. How many people do we have coming in from McDowell County? I know the bus runs up past my house and they pick them up there. How many people are in that group?
We have, just right off the top of my head, without looking at specific stats, I think there are 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
There's just not a whole lot.
That's about the same thing every year, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
And it can fluctuate.
Yeah. Couple
up or down.
Yeah.
From year to year. Sometimes during the middle of the year, we'll see some transfer.
Yeah. I know there for a couple years it was just one family, brought about 4 kids. Yeah.
Did you get that message from a newspaper wanting an advertisement for Wild East from West Side?
We have received it. We haven't done anything.
Today or tomorrow, one is the deadline or something like that.
I have a couple questions on the payment of invoices, if I could.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
I don't know what page it is in the board packet, because I don't have those red numbers.
Okay.
But it's page 9 on the printout. That's no problem.
Okay.
What's Droplet Solutions? You may have mentioned this before and my mind just forgot about it.
Ms. Vick, I'll defer to you.
Droplet is our forms, electronic forms that we use. We use them for technology requests. We've used some for payroll things, for extra pay for principals. We've used them for, we have a packet that we're working on. We've been working on for a little bit to get out to do for like all the beginning year forms where they can just click the link, takes them to these forms, fill them out online, and it sends it back in to us. And so we can keep that's how I keep up with all the technology stuff that the guys do. I can say how many things that they've worked on and done throughout the year. We also use it for our professional development. All the teachers, they fill out their professional development form online and then submit it, and the principals have to sign it. And then it has an e-sign thing now. We can also, I haven't got to speak with Brenda about this now, but there is also it's almost like a DocuSign portion that's been added to it now that they can like even sign off on IPs and things like that digitally or electronically instead of having to, have all this paper stuff.
That's pretty nice. And if you've answered that before, now
I don't know that I've done Drop. I think ProShare was the last one.
Okay.
So Drop was my new.
I'm
Not new to us, but like new to answering everybody.
Any form that we want to have somebody fill out, we can send to Droplet, have a
That's sure
Oh, it
better
is.
than the, on papers.
Yeah, we also use it for the, pre-K attendance, like we created a droplet for that, put a QR code in, and those parents can scan that QR code, tell that their kids are absent, or going to be absent, and that directly goes to like the pre-K teachers and, whoever else might need it, like, I work with Nina with that, and we put the right, email addresses in where that form gets sent to, and then they know, hey, this kid's gonna be absent today already, or this is why this kid wasn't here today, we've got this form.
That's pretty neat.
And this is an annual subscription, correct?
Okay, on page 16 of that, invoices, not red, but just plain black. Who are Pinnacle Consultants?
That is the group, Ms. Hall, that, does the, testing for EPA up at the Career and Technical Center that we have to do every year, as part of some asbestos, information. And we've actually gotten some good news from there from this last round of testing. I don't believe they'll have to do that anymore. They're the group that does that testing for us up there.
Okay, thank you, I just wasn't familiar with anything.
It used to be a company called Orion, I believe, years ago, and they no longer do it. So this Pinnacle has done it for us last couple of years.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions, comments about the consent agenda? If not, superintendent's made his recommendation, do we have a motion?
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made
I'll second.
and seconded, question or comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Here, Doug,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
5-0, Mr. Henry.
Thank you, board members.
Item number 3, consideration collaboration contract with Mountain Heart.
Board members, I would defer to, Ms. Bailey, for pages 48 through 40, in your board pack. Ms. Bailey?
48.
Yes.
And then I also passed out a hard copy today, and the difference is in the hard copy, I went through and just highlighted the changes, the substantial changes that we made, so that it would be easier to go through. So as you know, every year we do a contract, a collaborative contract with our community partner, which is Mountain Heart. They facilitate the Head Start program, and they also partner with us to provide Head Start services, which we call wraparound services, in most of our pre-K classrooms within our schools now. This year, we had the addition of Huff Consolidated. So currently, we are only one school shy of being 100% collaborative partners within that would be Berlin-McKinney, and our hope is to have that next year.
Well,
The
great.
state would like us to be a certain percentage, and we have actually exceeded that. So we are quickly becoming a model for our state, and we're asked to present and speak to other counties
Okay.
several times a year because of that. So,
That's great.
so on page 1, this is basically just an overview of the contract as far as the financial part, and we kept the amounts the same. What we do, we get the school aid funding for all children, whether they are within our schools or within the classrooms at one of the facilities that from Mountain Heart. In exchange for that, we provide them, they invoice us each year, and we give them $1,600 for every 4-year-old, $1,900 for a 3-year-old or 4-year-old with an IEP. In addition to that, the kids that we have in the schools, like in our classrooms, if they fall under Head Start guidelines, we give them $500 for every 4-year-old, and then $500 for a 3-year-old with an IEP that meets their guidelines. That money is primarily used to help in the schools to help with their family service specialists. It helps to cover the cost of that. They actually help us to gather required documents. They help us to plan family engagement activities and things like that. So that's what they use that $500 per student.
When you say family services, what does that include?
The family service actually, they help to, they reach out to the families before school begins. They, like I said, they help us to get the required state documents that we need. They help families to keep up, with appointments and things, like if their child needs a dental appointment, or if they've not had, a physical that year, they help to schedule those. They work with the teachers, and they also help to plan activities. Like, each year we do the fall festival with them. We do, a family appreciation day in the spring. So they reach out, for a lot actually, and they will even help to plan transportation if needed for those families that fall under Head Start guidelines.
We budget $500 for that?
Yes, per
For-
child.
Okay, per child.
But if they're 4 years old, and if
Okay.
they are 3 years old with an IP. But like I said, we get all of the state aid funding, we just help to provide, money for them to cover that family service specialist, because they are actually benefiting us.
And is that a one-time fee for the year, the school
Yes,
term?
yes, it's an annual fee.
Another great, collaboration is the work that they do with handing out meals to students, those students, at our collaborative, schools for Thanksgiving and for, Christmas. And in years past, they've given families full meals,
Yes.
turkeys, crock pots, rolls, side dishes, dessert. I mean, it's a really, really nice outreach, nice, partnership.
And, when they do that, they never exclude the other students. So they provide that to every single family in our collaborative classrooms.
That's great.
So it's a big help. And they also provide Christmas gifts and things like that too. So the difference in that this year, even though the amounts will stay the same, we have worked with them because this year our pre-K was required to adopt a new curriculum, which was Frog Street. And they have, agreed that they will deduct $18,000 from that invoice to help us pay for that new curriculum, because that curriculum is the same curriculum they also use in their classrooms. In addition, they are going to use $20,000 of that. We had to put a classroom inside of Queenport School because, Homeland Security purchased the southern campus. And because of that, they had to close that classroom that they had there for Head Start. So we've moved that to the Queenport area because that is a big need. Only having one classroom there and not having a pre-K within the school, those families were limited on, early childhood services. So that has opened a lot of doors for us. There is not a bathroom in that classroom, and so that's what that $20,000 is going to be used for. They're wanting to have one built inside there.
Needed.
Yes, much
Yes.
needed.
Yes.
And that 20,000, you say that is deducted from the total that
Yes,
we will
what
be
the
paying
amount
them?
that they would invoice us per child that we, have in this contract to pay them, those two amounts, the 18,000 and the 20,000 will be deducted from that. Another change we have, if you will look on page 2, you can see there that we now have the 2 classrooms at Queenport. We have moved one of our classrooms from Herndon. We got permission from the State Department to close that, so we now have 2 classrooms at Herndon, and for the first time, we have one at Mullins Elementary. That is going to really help us as far as transportation. We have a lot of families that were having to have their kids bused from the Mullins area to Herndon to go to pre-K. So, with the size of that classroom, we could have 16 students. It's already full with a waiting list. So, it was very well received, and, that was really something that our community had reached out about, and we were finally able to make that happen this year.
Now, those on the waiting list, will they, or can they be accommodated at the
Well,
Herndon location?
We have some, that are at Maiden Head Start.
Okay,
And then we do still have a few that have asked to go to Herndon. we have a bus that will still run there, and they have agreed to receive services there. And now, moving this classroom to Mullins has been 0 cents. We just moved everything from the classroom that was closed to Mullins, so it's not costing anything to move that.
Will actually help us in the long run, as Ms. Bailey said, by alleviating some of that, transportation, issue. A lot of those students and families that were being served at the Herndon, location were traveling from Mullins, so that'll be helpful for those families as well. And then as we transition into the new school, there's gonna be a pre-K, there's set to be a pre-K at new school anyway, so this will just transition easily, from Hollandale Elementary on to the school.
And then we'll be able to have more students there as well. We're required to have 35 square feet of usable space per child. And so once we get in that new school, we'll be able to accommodate.
Great data addition.
And then again, you can see there, that have consolidated was added as a collaborative classroom this year. And if you can skip over to page 5. Here we just changed a little bit of the wording, with everything that's going on as far as the immunizations that are required for school enrollment and, the governor's, executive actions. We are sort of in limbo day to day as to what that's gonna look like. So we have included not just, what is recommended by the DHHR, but also what is expected from the West Virginia Department of Education and Head Start standards. So we just included all of that there because that's something that we are having to look at, almost on a weekly basis right now, because we did have some students with those religious exemptions that now we are having to call, and ask them to install unless they want to get those immunizations.
I expect board members that will receive some further guidance on that from the Department of Ed, from actually the West Virginia Board of Education after their next, meeting. But as of right now, our directive and our guidance has been to follow state law.
Right.
Yes.
That's required.
If you can skip over to page 8. Because we have, so many collaborative classrooms within our schools now, the board has always provided oversight to the Head Start classrooms, but we felt that it was appropriate for them to help us with oversight with theirs, just to make sure that we're meeting those Head Start performance standards, because they are held accountable for that, for the federal funds that they receive and that are used, with our students. So we are just gonna work with them. I will still primarily be going over, to make sure everything is compliant, but they will help me as far as paperwork and things like that goes to make sure that we are still meeting their guidelines, because we don't want them to lose any funding, because of something that we accidentally left out or looked over. And then finally, on page 10, this is just something here on G that we're gonna collaborate with them, to help make sure that we get all health and dental records. The state requires that all pre-K students have an updated health and dental, record on file. Well, state policy is that for us, typically they only go as a 4-year-old unless they are a 3-year-old with an IEP. So a lot of times our 3-year-olds that we get, sometimes it's difficult to get those updated documents if they're there for that second year. So they are gonna help us to make sure to work with those families that we keep all of that up to date. And then page 11 is just reiterating, what we discussed on the first page, as far as that contract goes with the allotted money.
Board members, I want to commend Ms. Bailey for her continued work with Mount Park. That relationship, I don't think, can be any better. She's in constant contact with those folks. They work together really well, and makes me feel really proud that our kids are
Ms. Bailey, thank you for, laying it out this way. Very easy for us to understand. Appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
Mr. Emnick, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt you.
no problem at all. The only thing I was gonna add is that I do recommend this, collaborative contract with Mountain Heart.
Okay, recommendation been made, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made, second? I'll second it. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. 5-0.
I have a comment. I mean, not just her, but all these people who are at central office, I know they work 12, 14, 16 hours a day. But I've been told that I get a text message from her 11, 12 o'clock at night. So this is just what we got, people. We're great people. I said, and they continuously got on their mind working, make things better for Wyoming County. And my daughter says, hey, I got text message for 11, 12 or something like that. I said, she don't ever quit.
And neither does Benita.
And they don't ever quit. But I didn't wanna put my name on the motion or second on that because my daughter is with Mountain Heart. But, she said, I really enjoy working with Deanna Bailey. So, thank you for
Thank
that.
you. I enjoy working with them, and our partnership is continuing to grow, and Miss Mitchell has helped so much with that, with this new curriculum, and making sure that everyone has a voice, and just making sure that all of our trainings and things are consistent, so that way our kids are getting the same services no matter where they're at.
That's great.
And by the way, Carl Miller, Congresswoman, will be at Mountain Heart tomorrow. So I don't know what time ours are, but they're getting ready for a meeting for tomorrow down there. If anybody wants to drop in on it.
Thanks, Bailey.
Thank
Good job.
you.
Okay, item number 4, consideration of Gear Up work plan, summary and, subaward contract. I guess that's, Mr. Stewart.
I would defer to Mr. Stewart.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Henry. I feel like I talked about Gear Up a lot, which is a good thing, just to kind of give you all updates on the superintendent's update piece. But our partners at Concord University and New River Community Technical College, their financial department has asked if the board would just consider acknowledging the agreement that Wyoming County has to work with Gear Up Southwest Virginia through them. And so I wanted to share with you, really, there's not anything formal other than just the board saying we are okay with Wyoming County working with Gear Up. So what I wanted to do was kind of share with you a little bit about how the budget works. With that, they give us $180,000 per year with this grant project, and the grant will last until our current 9th graders graduate. So we still have 4 more school years that we'll be working with Gear Up, given that nothing changes in the federal money mindsets. You know, we've seen a lot of shakeups with that. So this year in particular, we were a little worried about the Gear Up budget, but everything's okay, and we're going forward for this coming school year. But I gave you a handout up there that just kind of gives you a quick summary. But before we talk about those details, I just wanted to give you a summary of a lot of the things that Gear Up does for our kids in our county. We started off, I think, at our last meeting, we hired our local coordinators for both high schools and our financial consultant that works through here just a few days a month to help us manage the grant funds. And those local coordinators, the goal there with them is to have people at the high schools that already work with the kids, but these folks devote extra time beyond their daily schedule, and the goal is to help kids make better decisions about going to college, work decisions after high school, things like that. And it's not just all about planning to go to college and graduate. You know, we're looking at career center, career-minded opportunities that kids have. You know, what they do is they plan trips and they plan experiences, they plan speakers who can come into the schools, and they try to do everything they can to expose kids to the opportunities that we have here in Wyoming County for them to go on and work beyond high school. And I think Ms. Shoemake possibly at the last meeting had talked about the goal of her department is, for job placement for kids after they graduate high school. And this kind of goes hand in hand with that kind of thing. And, I always kind of related, and I may have said it before, I didn't set foot on Marshall's campus until I went to orientation on June 21st, 1989, to go to school there. And, the decision was already made, the payments, the deposits were already in, and there I was walking on campus the first time in my life, going to Marshall University to go to college. So the goal here is to give these kids opportunities to go see these campuses, to see what college life is, to hear people tell stories about college and job opportunities before they go. Because a lot of times, and I always said it as a principal, if a student makes it through that first year of college and they don't change their mind and come back home, if it can just stick. It's a lot of things you do, you're just like, okay, I hope this takes, I hope this sticks, and they go with it. And I would always hope that for kids, like if they would go to WU or Marshall, and I always listen to them talk, in January of the first semester, like, are you staying? And my hope was, yes, I hope you stay. And so our goal is to give them opportunities to make decisions that will stick, because it's hard to change your mind, after you go, and everybody changes their mind. I went in pre-pharmacy, changed to computer science within a few months, and then came out a teacher. And, it happens, we all change your mind, but the more exposure we can give them to opportunities, they'll find what matches them the most. I figured out I was going to be a teacher, that's what I was supposed to do. That's what we want to do, is we want to help our kids figure out what's for them before they go and have a bunch of expenses with college loans and student loans, things like that, so that hopefully will help their life out along the way. So that's what this Gear Up program is. It's giving us a resource that we can work with kids more to help them make better decisions. So some of the other pieces there that you've seen this past year, we send some of our staff members to national conferences with this to learn some things about professional development that they can bring back to their kids about college and career planning. We continuously meet and discuss strategies between the two high schools about what they can do together to work together to help all of our county kids go in the same direction of having success after they graduate. The Concord University and New River Community Technical College folks, they work on professional development opportunities for our people so that they can bring it back to the kids. So they're constantly bringing in exciting things. They've been doing a lot of focus on math. They really want our 9th and 10th graders to have math success in our high schools. And so I think we're seeing some growth there along the way, and it's going to be exciting to see what that does for, especially when we do our 11th grade SAT testing in the next couple of years, to see how that changes. There's a piece in there that, it talks about some of the, in the plan, some of the places they want to go. They want to take some trips to Marshall this year, Concord, New River, Bluefield State, WU Tech, possibly WU. And they're also thinking big about possibly getting the kids to Virginia Tech and maybe even Ohio State. So those would be two really interesting opportunities. We don't see those two schools, and Virginia Tech's really not that far away from us. So it'd be really nice to have our kids be able to look at that. And that's another thing too, the Concord folks with the grant, they provide opportunities. Sometimes they'll say, okay, we're going to send a charter bus. We're going to meet everybody in Beckley and take a group of kids to Virginia Tech to get back. And hoping maybe they can do that for Ohio State as well. There's also some provisions for some supplies. We try to stay really low on supplies with this grant, because in the past, when we worked with Gear Up, there were purchases of things, supplies, and I just really wanted to see them put the money into experiences for kids. So that's, we're trying to stay away from things as much, because things sometimes don't get used like they need to, and experiences are better, especially when it comes to making decisions. A couple other things, just real quickly here. There's a parent element to this. There's money in the grant that we can invite parents in for advising them. Parents need to know too. Sure. That way they can help their kids and go see the colleges and job sites and things like that, through this. They might do some virtual training, for them along the way. So, that's a really good thing too, because a lot of times parents don't really know what, the kid says, I'm going to so-and-so college, parents are like, you know, and, you know, they don't know much about it, so we want them to know so that they can help their child make the right decision. There's some tutoring assistance along the way. There is, some stuff that we're doing with, Can Do You, which is kind of like a, social, emotional, assistance, material, thing that, our schools will be working with. There's, career advising within that. There's also more math assistance there. We're gonna place, 2 interventionists, in our high school, 1 for each high school, and let them work 5 days a month, starting in October, to work with their 9th and 10th graders, just to make sure that their credits are being maintained, because 9th and 10th grade, as we all know, is tough little run there, you know. Sometimes you struggle academically. So if you have a person that can say, you know, we're gonna pull in some of these kids that we know are struggling, then they can kind of help them make sure we get high credits and get the grades done, you take care of them, stay on track. So there's a whole lot of stuff to this, Europe, grant, and it's a blessing that we're able to be a part of this cohort. And, Europe has, the Concord folks have been just clicking on all cylinders, this past year. Last year we had Debbie Hall help us come in and do our financial consultant piece, and she is a gem, when it comes to managing money. So, we're really blessed to be able to be a part of this program. So basically, all that, we need is, just a confirmation that our board supports our work with Europe, and you're okay with, us continuing on with Europe. Thank you.
Board members, I do recommend for your consideration the, Europe work plan summary and subsequent contract that Mr. Stewart, has presented.
Okay, since it's made his recommendation, do we have a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 5-0, Mr. Henry.
Thank you, board members.
Item number 5, superintendent's update.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Our buses are getting, getting some things in them. That's the neat thing. We're going to be open until Friday with those. And, on Friday, we'll bring them back over this way. I've got some, ideas on getting them all sorted out to get that material, out to the schools. I've had some calls. People are asking, when we're going to do the event, when they come and get stuff, we're going to send that stuff out to the schools. Divide it by, grade level appropriateness. So we don't want to send crayons to the high schools, So, we're going to make sure that that stuff gets sent out to each school equally according to their enrollment. We'll try to make sure that they get things they need. And again, just to emphasize, if anybody's out there listening, if you have a student that needs, or if y'all hear of a student that needs something for school, let us know. We have resources that we'll work on getting those kids ready for school. But even if we don't get things donated to the bus that they need, somebody will make sure that kids get what they need to start school. So people get stressed out about teacher lists that they, things they put out there that kids need to buy. They don't need to get stressed out about that. If they cannot afford to buy those things, then we will make sure we find a way to get what's needed. So nobody's going to be in a shape where they're going to be in trouble for not having supplies. So that's how we're going to do that. We're going to distribute that out and take good care of kids as we always do along the weekend. That's really
Mr. Stewart, I'd be happy to volunteer to help sort this stuff.
okay.
I've had a little bit of hands-on with composition books.
I would like to change the title, that's Stuff in the Bus.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Stewart took a picture of me stuffing the bus. Some smart aleck out of Virginia put on our, looked like he'd been stuffing something else too. You took it off, didn't you? My wife said that she come through there with that iPad in her hand. She said, "Would you look at this?" This is cracking up. I said, "He ain't got nothing else to do, pick on somebody."
You're not supposed to laugh at that.
I told him in church, I said, I'll tell you what, whenever a man works for the Fancy Gordon and Lord blesses it, he comes out there, how can you help but eat them potatoes and beans and corn?
You got to get rid of
don't know where it comes from. I worked hard to get that. That's all right, Dave. We got a good laugh out of it. If you stuff with something else too.
Mr. Williams came and talked to us at the, Principal Leadership Academy, and he described what he called as, social media trolls. And it's people that are
Yeah,
just sitting around.
right, right.
So,
Doing punches.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what was happening there.
Yeah.
And Mr. Stewart pulled a slick one on me. I thought I was being slick by bringing it to his office, but you got me, you got me,
I
buddy.
still got you. Once you take the picture in my world, it stays on the file.
We appreciate you all, participating in that.
But let it be said, I owe you more.
And she'll pay too.
Never know when it's coming, right?
Oh, it'll be there.
Yeah, it will. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes. Professional development continues. We had a great week last week with the PD that was offered. We concluded with, some social studies on Friday. And then today, we have our building thinking class learning some mathematics. And I know Mr. Henry was talking to you guys about that, before the meeting started. But it's an exciting, energetic, very high quality, 2-day training today and tomorrow, and then we'll have the third day of that in November on a professional learning day. We had, each participant had to fill out a registration online saying that they committed to attending all 3 days. So it's not just a 1-day event. So everyone that is participating has cleared their calendars and said that they were committed to participating in its fullest capacity. So we're really excited. We have a wonderful trainer with us. Ms. Amy Mitchell's been sending me updates this morning, and he's had them up and thinking and doing math from the onset of the training this morning. So we're really excited about that. There may be a possibility for us to consider having a second cohort to go through this, because there are still educators who weren't able to get on this group on this list. So that might be something that is brought to you in the future. And then we'll conclude with some technology training this week. So we've just been full steam ahead with getting PD in throughout the summer. It's been a busy summer for professional development. And then I gave everyone a copy of the program that we had at the ceremonial cornerstone ceremony on Saturday. So I just wanted, I know a lot of you keep these things for posterity's sake and whatnot, so I wanted to make sure everybody had a copy of that as well.
Was this put in the time capsule they're putting up there?
We did give them a copy of that as well.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
Mr. Henry, if I can make a comment about Saturday's ceremony, it was great. And I'd never had an opportunity to attend one of those before. When Baileysville and Osana were closing and they had the West Side cornerstone ceremony, well, of course, I was assistant principal, had to stay back and watch everybody else. So that was a great experience. That was a truly beautiful ceremony. And the Masons did a great job. So did David Stover and John Morgan with their part. I'd like to shout out to Kara, Halsey Mitchell, Angel Lane, Jeff Hilton, Robert Lyons, and Jonathan Shrewsbury, who helped load all those chairs up for Mr. Lyons. It was it was a great day. Nice little breeze.
Yes, we're thankful for that breeze that came through, because it was hot.
Good stuff. Thank you all for taking care of that. You did an excellent job. Big thanks to you, Ms. Mitchell, and big thanks to Mr. Hill as well, and Jonathan also, as Ms. Hall said. Jonathan was the workhorse behind the scenes that got everything ready for us. And really grateful for that. Nice day from what I hear.
Jonathan
It was.
was one of my students at Mullins High School.
He's a genius. He's a hard Ms. Mitchell touched on last week, we had a really good week of professional development. But an excellent 2 days with principals on the 5th and 6th. That was really, really nice. On the 5th, we had Colonel Jason Lambert come in and speak. Deputy Superintendent Jeff Kelly came. And then we had some evening sessions that was conducted by Ms. Mitchell did one. I was able to help with one, and then Ms. Shoemate and her team did one as well. Tuesday was an excellent day with some great information. And then on Wednesday, 6th, we had David McClure come in, and we had our secretaries come in. And they spent all day with us. And David is mentor for Ms. Church that you've heard us talk about a little bit. And he went over some really good financial school finance information. Really got the wheels turning and thinking, and it was just excellent 2 days. And then we concluded the afternoon with athletic directors came in with principals and secretaries, and we did our trainer of the coaches, and that went really well as well. Ms. Lane did an excellent job with her presentation in that training. Mr. Stewart did an excellent job with his part of the presentation, and his church did an excellent job talking about finances to that group of people.
We did get that video, right?
We recorded that, we did, and also gave them a checklist there to go over with every coach. We gave them a copy of the agenda of items that we want them to go over, so I think it'll go really, really well. It was a good afternoon. And like I said, we had athletic directors come, and we had secretaries in there as well. So secretaries were with us all day, and I think they appreciate being part of that training there. I hope to give you some pictures and an update of Glen Ford secure entrance next board meeting. I know maintenance went there to finish up that project and getting the principal and the secretary switched around. So that one's moving right along. But I hope to give you a little bit better update on that on our next board meeting on Monday the 18th.
What about the one at Oceana?
It's moving along,
Mhm.
all 3 of them. They've done a little bit more at OMS right now because they're tearing out those steps out back, and they want to get those steps poured before students arrive. So that was important for them to get going on that quicker than the other 2 schools. But they'll have all 3 of those going simultaneously. Right now, they're just waiting on some materials that have been ordered to get really cranking up on those. So
At Oceana Middle School, is the parent drop off gonna be out front,
it is. It's going to stay the same.
out front, and then
It's
the
gonna
bus
stay the
load and
same.
unload out back?
Correct. Yeah, we won't change that up on anybody. Just after school starts, you'll have to enter, anybody visiting will have to enter through the back of OMS, we now do the very front. But that won't happen until they complete the project. So we'll make sure that we keep families updated on that as it comes along.
And I noticed just I drove by there, the tree in front of Burley McKinney right there in front of the office, it's a dying out for some, I don't know what's going on, that was a pretty tree there at one time. It's just, it ain't that big of a tree, but it's a dying out for some reason.
Any update on the water system coming into the vocational school?
No, nothing further than what I told you last time, which is that they're moving down toward us. As soon as we get a fire hydrant there, they can do a flow test.
There's
Then
a
we can
fire,
get that out.
there's a fire hydrant not too far up that road.
Getting close.
Yep, getting
Getting
close.
close.
Yeah, they
It's getting
look
really
like they're
close.
getting pretty close.
Yeah.
I was up that way the other day.
Great.
The last thing I'll add, board members, and happy to answer any questions, is we will begin welcoming teachers and 200-day employees back on the 18th, which will be next Monday. So staff will be coming back, and we'll be gearing up to start a new school year. We're excited. Can't wait. It's gonna be a wonderful year.
Well, it goes fast, don't it?
It does. Because you blink, June is gone. Then you blink again, July is gone. And
Yeah.
before you know it, we'll be at Christmas break.
Yes.
It's hard to believe. Beginning of the school year was always the most exciting. I always loved walking into that school and seeing a shiny floor, just most kids being happy to be there, to be back, in amongst their teachers, but, opening school is always my favorite. Always my favorite. That was for information only, Mr. Stiff.
Okay. Item number 6, consideration of personnel recommendations, and there she is.
I
The-
will defer to Ms. Lane.
The angel appears.
And you say no changes.
No changes,
No
no
changes.
changes since this was sent out on Friday.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I don't remember what time I sent it, but there has been no
It's
changes.
a busy personnel list, board members, very busy, but it always is at the
Yes.
beginning of the school year. As you look through, board members, I would remind you if there's any specific questions about anybody specific on the personnel list that we would go into executive session to discuss.
As I look at this list, the big thing that jumped out to me is how many of these people on here I had in school, and how old I started to feel.
Seasoned, Miss Hall, not old, seasoned.
And the sad part, she's still the youngest one on the board.
Hey, I hadn't thought about that.
You said that up perfect.
Yeah, you knew.
Board members, we're happy to answer any questions that you have about the personnel list. As Ms. Lane mentioned, there's nothing new, from the updated list that she emailed out, but I do recommend you personnel list presented in hard copy and then the last email.
Are we having any staffing problems to start school, or are in pretty good shape?
Honestly, I think that we're in better shape this year than we have been, since my time at, central office began many, years ago. So I'm very, very pleased with where we are. There will continue to be a little bit of, movement, but, I think that we're gonna be about a third of what we were on open postings, compared to last year. So I'm very, very pleased with that. We'll continue to post and hire, as quickly as we can. There will be a few positions that I do suspect will have long-term subs in.
Right.
Possibly some FC depending, but not near as many as in years past. And then also, of course, band at, each of the high schools. Those will start as an open posting for this school year as well. Chemistry and, physics at Wyoming East, that one will continue to be posted, I'm sure. Trying to seek someone for that position. So we are gonna have a few. I think that, we are in a better place though this year than last year. So I'm very encouraged by that.
This is not just a local problem, this is national, isn't it?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
How's the bus driver situation? Are we okay buses?
So we've had several people off, with extended medical, leave or, taking sick days for illnesses. A few of those are gonna be able to start the school year back again, so that will be good. We're glad that they are recovering well and able to return. We currently have 3 that are in the training program, and have already gone and done, the background check, the drug screen. They're wrapping up the training, through, Arlen, the bus driver that does the training over there. There's also, another bus driver that is going to be starting, that training process with some. They're willing to work evenings and weekends as needed, so those people, if they're working somewhere, they can still do that throughout the day while they're being trained for that as well. But Mr. Hilton, and his bus drivers have really put on, a good recruiting, post, and they've all been posting and sharing and trying to get people interested. We currently have, 4, from my understanding, they're in, the training process. 3 of those have done the background check and drug screen, so they're nearing completion. So anytime we can add 3 substitutes, that's really, really good. Although we need more,
Yes.
we definitely need more, but, we're very pleased that we have 3. That's not been common lately.
Okay. Okay, any other questions about,
Do we hire people pending the background check being passed?
Typically, no. There are some counties that put pending background check, drug screen. We do not. We wait for those, to come back. If there is, like this summer, if there was a person that was wanting to, or needing to come to a training that we were only gonna be offering one time, students aren't there, so we've allowed them to do that. So they could get the training that they needed prior to, going to be with the students. But any of our, pre-K 12, we have not, approved, and that is not typical. Only in the event of, an emergency for some reason, I would seek permission from, Mr. Henry, and, we would let you all know that as well, but I do not post anyone on, or, put anyone on the personnel list that I have not received the results.
Have you got the 2 new garbage ed buses up and, cars up and going?
I saw on the payment invoices that, we were paying for brakes, so it looks like that's in the process of getting done.
They still got the 2 old ones?
Yes,
Just
correct, yeah. And also, back to what Angel was saying, that's a good process to have in place, because you never know what can come back on a background check, and it's, until you get that background check, it's not a good practice to
do anything?
No, I wouldn't let one start until they've got it back there. No.
And you'll notice sometimes you might have a blank on the personnel list, and Angel will put those on there sometimes, because sometimes we're waiting until the day before, that if they do possibly come in, we could add those and be able to move the process along quicker. You might get some questions about, how come this job hasn't been hired yet, or how come that job hasn't been hired yet? Most of the time when I reach out to Angel, it's background check hasn't came back yet.
Yeah, and, I'm sure that you all have seen, some of those with the coaches, and I know that there were some inquiries about that, with one of the coaches at Oceana Middle School recently. It was on there, as blank 3 or 4 times before, we were able to hire, and that is the exact reason. Nothing was wrong, just his schedule, and then awaiting those results. So, if there is ever, an emergency situation, those are very, very few and far between. I would, speak to Mr. Henry, and of course, we would let you all know, prior to approval, but everyone on here, we're just not comfortable, rolling the dice and putting them on there until we have it in hand.
Best practice.
Appreciate you doing it that way.
Questions or comments about the personnel list? Your recommendation?
Do recommend the, personnel list, for your consideration as presented.
Make a motion to approve it.
Motion made to approve, do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Second. Question or comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0 on the personnel list.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angel.
And real quick, under personnel as well, this is something that we have done, for many years in the past. As we are approaching the first day for staff, all of our faculty and staff is on Monday. I do have some jobs coming down on Thursday, and, I would like to be able to contact those individuals if they're the successful applicants, so they could start at that school on Monday.
We've always done that, yes.
We have, and I always like, to mention that and make sure that's still
Sure.
okay. It's not anything that we've ever had an official vote on. Those will be on the personnel list for Monday for board approval. But it would help us, be able to keep people, rather than them going to work in a school for 2 days and then moving to a different school before kids come. It's just nice to have people be able to start where they're going to be if at all we can.
Yeah, we've approved that in the past, so no problem with that.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we were good with continuing that,
Okay.
practice on this last push before, they show up.
For opening day.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you, Angel.
We appreciate you letting us do that, because that helps Angel's world, and that helps our school world as well, just get things moving
Yeah.
as quick as possible.
Okay. Item number 7. Adjournment.
Before we adjourn, y'all having that meeting with all them every Monday, you might wanna go over some things on, like the doors being open locked. Anybody paying attention to the news the last 4 or 5 weeks, have been shootings at like the Army base down in Fort Georgia. I'll be just Friday or Saturday, one at the emergency room down in Charleston, somebody went in there and stabbed somebody. You don't never know, if they get the opportunity, what might happen, and so, emphasize that right there. And then, we had several air conditioning units out, have we got them up and going for school start?
Some are not ready yet, they've been ordered, and we're waiting on them to be here to be installed. So as soon as they're here, we'll get them installed. There's a pretty long wait time right now.
Is that create a problem for us?
What's that?
Is it gonna create a problem for us in our schools?
It could in some areas, but Dr. Lyons has had a backup plan, much like with
Like this?
these
Yeah.
right here with some fans and so forth, in having a backup plan. I know Steve has been working on that.
Well, we still got quite a bit of time for.
We do, cross our fingers that they come,
Yeah.
get them installed quickly,
Right.
but if not, we'll make sure that things go okay.
Okay, if there's nothing else on the agenda, open up for motion for adjournment.
So move.
Motion made. Motion seconded.
I'll say.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.